Hey there, this is part 3 in my project here. Today we're going to get doing some stuff with the rear swing arm, trying to get the motor set up in place where I want it. I said before how the plans of this are just strictly out of my head. I don't have nothing on paper. Sometimes it'd be better to have stuff on paper because I keep changing my mind on things. So, but anyways, it's all good. So yeah, I wasted a bit of time in this episode because my original thoughts aren't what I end up going with. And then I believe it's going to change yet once again further down the road. So just keep watching and you'll see. So I have this motor mocked up to the angle I want it to sit on the swing arm. So I'm going to start building some engine mounts that will attach to the swing arm. This is not going to have fully independent rear suspension. It's going to be like an oscillating rear axle. That was my plan originally. I wasn't expecting to bolt this much horsepower to it. I'm afraid it might end up being the weak link. We'll see what happens. I suspect it's probably going to be where something's going to break first. That and this thing, surprisingly enough, by the time you start dealing with the exhaust and the jack shaft and everything, it's a lot to pack on a swing arm. So it's going to be interesting. This is why you never throw out metal. It can always be find a use. So I got some engine mounts made up for my, what I guess is my mock-up motor, unless I ever decide to rebuild this and have 2 motors, but I'm most likely just going to be using the one out at the Snowmobile. So yeah, this is a backup. So I need to get started on my swing arm. And this should attach to the swing arm relatively easily. Now, I've been trying to wrap my head around how to run the exhaust on this here, and I was gonna come out the side, like I haven't even started on my rear swing arm yet. I'm trying to figure out the whole width of everything. I thought of running the exhaust, something like that, but it starts getting pretty tight for the width I'm trying to maintain. So I might just take this exhaust and run it over top like this. I'll cut this and kind of twist it a little bit, but I don't know, I think there's enough clearance there. I don't think I'll have any heat issues. We'll see. it just gives me a lot more room to play with. I'm still a little concerned with some other things because this is getting high too, so yeah, it may change as I'm going. We'll see what happens here. So crap, stupid me. I meant to divide that angle in half so I could take the material I cut off one side and put it on the other to try to keep this expansion chamber as unmodified as possible, but I didn't do that. I just kind of, so I'm gonna weld this back together like that. I get really nervous when I change a two-stroke expansion chamber because it's gonna change the performance of this, and I'm always a little bit concerned that the motor's not going to breathe properly and you could potentially blow it up. So if I lose a little bit of power, that's not the end of the world. I think this is going to be way too much power for this cart anyways. So but anyways, I screwed up. Now I got to deal with it. All right, finally got some packages I've been waiting for a long time today, so let's see what we got here. Got some wheel hubs, I see. Excellent. A whole pile of bearings. Lock collars. Oh, look at that. They came with lock collars. Who didn't even know that? Oh, no, that's an eccentric. Well, it's still a lock collar. Uh-oh, peanuts. Oh, nice beefy hind joint. Excellent. It's a big sucker. It's good. You can push a lot of power through it. And a bunch more of nice heim joints and heim joint spacers. Excellent. Right on. Good stuff. So I got my steel cut out here for my rear swing arm. I'm just going to try to get everything all squared up and get this sucker welded together. I am terrible for welding things solid before I should weld things solid. I need to learn just to leave things tacked before I'm 100% sure I'm going with it. Sometimes I think I'm going with it and then later change my mind. So I gotta learn to do that because it causes me too much grief. So I made this a little too wide. So it's time to get out the grinder. So I probably could have cut that out quicker and cleaner on the bandsaw and not done any grinding. But I find my bandsaw especially, even more so when the blade starts to get worn, it doesn't make really nice square cuts. So that's why I ground it, trying to keep my edges as square as I can. It's not going to be as nice as I had it in the first place, but it's workable. Okay, got the new narrowed swing arm tacked in place this time, which I'll leave it like until I'm sure that's what I'm going with. Okay. Attempts at this were a fail. Hopefully 3 times the charm here. This is the control arm with the first mock-up with the wheels on it. Right now I have 2 wheel bearings in there. There's for sure going to be 2 more going right to the outer edges here that I'll weld in brackets for, just so the odds of bending the axle are going to be a lot less. All these lock collars I have in here are probably just temporary, just to hold it in place for now. I have ideas. We'll see what I end up doing with that, so the axle doesn't move around. Depending where my sprocket ends up going, which is going to be really close to this bearing, I was thinking of putting yet another bearing by my sprocket, but I might not have to, because it might be like right, very close to that bearing. It's going to be tight. This axle is going to be so tight, I don't even know if I can put a rotor on it. I might have to put the brakes on my jack shaft, kind of like how it is on a snowmobile. The only thing I don't like about that is if you're able to throw a chain, you have no brakes. But I do plan on putting front brakes on this, I hope. So then at least you still have that. So that's my plan at this point. We'll see where I end up. Kind of looks a little bit like a little trailer at the moment. So it'll be neat once it's on the machine. So this utilizes a single mounting point right here, which will be underneath my seat. And it also lengthens the swing arm by doing that. So I mean, basically the swing arm's not much longer to the pivot. But yes, it'll allow the axle to oscillate like this. And then I'll have to put a panhard bar at the back, so you know it does, so your axle's not doing this nonsense. So that's where we're at. So I've been working on the exhaust placement on this thing, which may end up being a fail. I don't know, we'll see. It's I definitely got lots of clearance there. I don't think I'll have any heat issues. I put that ugly heat shield on there for now, just for something. This right now, I mean, there's no shocks on here yet, so I got the frame bottomed right out on the swing arm. So I mean, this is the lowest it could potentially ever go. I mean, I'm gonna set it up so it can't go quite this low. This seat isn't mounted yet, so it can move back and forth, so I can make more clearance there. But I'll probably, like I say, it's when I set the shocks up, it's never going to be this low unless there's like a shock failure or something like that. So anyways, this is what I've been working on for a mount so far. I'm going to put one off this side. And this is just holding it in place for now. It's tacked in there. So I'll put another mount off here and come up. This piece has to come out. I mean, this is just temporary for now. I mean, this part's gonna stay in there, but I'm gonna have to cut it, and it's gonna have to, when I put my jack shaft in, it's gonna have to come around to my jack shaft, because this will be in the way if I leave it there. So I gotta take that bar out, but I had to start somewhere. So that's where I'm at with this so far. We'll see how it turns out. Alrighty, so this is where we're going to end this episode right here. I've taken up enough of your time. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, drop me a comment, let me know what you think. Have a good one.